Namaste and welcome to New India Junction. I'm Nivedita Tiwari. Congratulations, India. We finally have a COVID vaccine which has been approved by the Drugs Controller General of India. It is going to strengthen our fight against the COVID-19 pandemic and is also a huge relief for our frontline warriors and the healthcare professionals. To talk to us about it, we have with us Dr. Shashank Joshi. Dr. Joshi is an endocrinologist and a member of the Maharashtra COVID Task Force. He's also been awarded the Padma Shri for his services to the field of medicine. Dr. Joshi, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Namaskar and Happy New Year to everybody.
So the DCGI has approved two vaccines, the one being made by the Serum Institute of India and the other by Bharat Biotech. Why these two vaccines in particular? Can we quickly look at them from the standpoint of safety and public health implications in the times of a pandemic?
So Nivedita ji, you have asked a very relevant question. Are the vaccines safe and at pandemic times are they useful for containing the pandemic? So the two approvals done by the Drug Controller General of India, Dr. Venugopal Somani, have been very clear. The first one has been the Covishield. Covishield actually is a vaccine which is based on the chimpanzee adenovector platform. And this vaccine was originally developed by University of Oxford, and they partnered commercially with the AstraZeneca company, and they have transferred the technology to one of the largest vaccine producers on planet Earth, which is Serum Institute of India in Pune. And they have developed this vaccine. So Serum Institute of Pune is going to mass produce this vaccine, not only for India, but also for the world. Now, this vaccine has been approved in United Kingdom right now, and has done the phase 2 and phase 3 clinical trials in United Kingdom, Brazil, South Africa, United States, and they also have a combined phase 2, phase 3 clinical trial ongoing in India, where they have enrolled 1,600 Indian subject volunteers. So the first vaccine is an emergency use or a restricted use approval, and the clinical trial will continue, and this vaccine has been approved for use in the pandemic times. It is safe because it has passed through the phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3 program outside of India, and the United Kingdom MHRA has approved it. And now based on that, the subject expert committee recommended a drug controller to also approve it for India for emergency use authorization. So this is the first vaccine which has come. So it is safe, and we hope that the first group of the healthcare workers, which is around 1 crore, which includes doctors, nurses, and various other paramedical staff which are involved in medical care and healthcare, they will be vaccinated. Followed by the COVID frontline people, which are mainly in our governmental agencies like corporation workers, sanitization workers, our defense forces, police personnel, and so on and so forth, who are directly involved in the front line of COVID care work. And that will be another 2 crores. And then, of course, we will go to the third group, which is people above 50 and people below 50 with comorbidities. So in that hierarchical order, this vaccine has been approved. The second vaccine, which has got also an emergency use restricted approval, but in a research mode, that is a clinical trial mode, is the one which is actually a truly made in India, make in India vaccine. The virus was basically cultured by our scientists, which is of the Indian Council of Medical Research. They have a dedicated virology institute in Pune called the National Institute of Virology. So they actually cultured the Indian virus and the Indian strains, and then they killed that whole virus. And after killing the whole virus, they inactivated it. And they partnered with a vaccine major, just like Serum Institute, called Bharat Biotech, and they made a vaccine called Covaxin. Covaxin has undergone clinical trials, first in animal studies to prove its safety and efficacy. Then they underwent phase 1 and phase 2 clinical trial program in 800 Indian volunteers. And right now they are ongoing a phase 3 clinical trial program where they have completed 2 doses for 21,500 cases. And of which 15,000 cases data was presented to the subject expert committee. And they found it that after presentation of the interim results of the phase 3 clinical trial program, which is not in public domain, they found it that it is also worthy to be approved for emergency use in a clinical trial mode. So it is not for everybody. And also they said it could be useful for a mutant strain. Because recently we heard that there is a strain in United Kingdom, which is a mutation, where there is a small little shift in the amino acids. And for that mutant strain, there was a lot of scare whether the vaccine will work or not. So this whole viron inactivated killed vaccine probably will be useful for that. So that is like a backup vaccine which is there. And I'm certain that their clinical trial will also be over, and that clinical trial research mode will be removed by the drug controller. Drug Control General also approved a third vaccine, which is called the Zydus Zy COVID vaccine, and it has passed the. It is a DNA vaccine from Ahmedabad, but it has passed the phase 2 trial program with 1,000 subjects. But it will now undergo phase 3 clinical trials in more than 25,000 subjects. So currently, what is going to be available immediately is the Covishield.
Yeah.
What may be available as a backup if there is a sudden outbreak or a surge will be Covaxin in a research or a clinical trial mode. And what has got permission to do the final stage of the clinical trial, the phase 3 clinical trial, is high COVID, which is the DNA vaccine. So these are the three major vaccines which a subject expert committee discussed and deliberated with the scientists from India, and the presentations were made, based on which yesterday at 11 o'clock the Drug Control General approved it, which was the 3rd of January.
Right. So, in addition to these three names, we also hear about this Sputnik and the Pfizer vaccines. Comments on those, please.
So Sputnik vaccine has partnered with an Indian company called Dr. Reddy's Lab, and it is undergoing, just like the Serum Institute, a combined phase 2, phase 3 clinical trial program under the supervision of the Drug Control General of India. And they have yet to come back for a presentation.
Right.
Pfizer actually twice was called, but they abstained from their presentation. They have not done any clinical trials in India, and they have not shown any intent, for reasons known best to them, to come forward to show whether the vaccine will be available in India or not.
Right.
Their vaccine is a new platform called mRNA platform, which can cause anaphylactic reactions, etc., which has been approved in USA, Canada, UK, Bahrain, United Emirates, Mexico. But unfortunately, in India, they are approvable, but they have not gone through the regulatory process of approval as of date.
Right. And also, they did not show any intent of coming back to us.
That's correct. That's correct.
Closing comments on safety, efficacy, and the kind of vigilance we need to sort of have, both for the authorities and for the people, now that the vaccine is here.
So India is embarking the largest COVID vaccination program on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And we are going to have, it is going to be digitally monitored through a COVID app. So there won't be any paperwork there. So even in a small village, the person doesn't have to keep a paper and get vaccinated multiple times. You have the first dose and the second dose will follow, because all the vaccines need 2 doses, and it will be monitored. There has been a Tikakaran program across India. Basically, it has been governed by a National Vaccination Coordination Committee, which is under the auspices of the Niti Aayog and Ministry of Health. From the center, the directives are going to each state government. Each state government has formed a COVID vaccine committee under the leadership of the chief secretary and the health secretary, and they are basically ensuring that the whole logistics infrastructure is being developed. Now, there are 2 things which you need to know: that the vaccine needs storage at regular fridge, 2 to 8 degrees. One of the reasons Pfizer did not apply in India is because minus 70 degree storage is very difficult in Indian situations. So the current vaccine is accessible because it can be stored in the cold chain. Secondly, it is an intramuscular injection. The third thing is that these vaccines are presumed to be cheap, and currently it is believed that Government of India will purchase it from the manufacturer and then administer it to people through the state governments. Also remember that the vaccine is a voluntary participation. So somebody who is allergic, somebody who is a little apprehensive is scared. If you ask me the question, am I scared of taking either of these vaccines? I am not. Both the vaccines have passed the safety test, which is the safety stress test our Drug Control General has given to them, and they're still being looked at. Okay, so remember that these are safe vaccines. There is nothing to get scared about these vaccines. They have passed the test of pharmacovigilance, but we can't afford to be lackadaisical. We will continue monitoring the various adverse events of the vaccines after the vaccine is also given.
Right. Dr. Joshi, thank you for this reassuring conversation and for joining us at such a short notice. Congratulations once again, India. Please arm yourself with the right information. Don't give in to rumors. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep watching New India Junction. Namaste.